I'm actually not sure why do I still keep this series going. I mean, hype for Overwatch is gone already, and everyone seems to be playing Battle Royale games. Maybe I should make TF2 in Fortnite Battle Royale? Anyway, you didn't click on this video to hear me talk about Fortnite. You came here to see how TF2 characters would look like if they were added to Overwatch. And today, we're taking a look at our favorite Texan engineer, Del Conager, commonly known as the Engineer. So now, let's get into the video. In TF2, Engineer has two main playstyles. The core Engineer game plan is to set up and maintain a nest with all of his buildings upgraded as much as possible. Buildings he can have are Sentry, which automatically aims and shoots enemies in its range, which is great for holding down certain areas. Dispenser, which provides nearby allies with health and ammunition, useful to help your medics with keeping the team alive. And Teleporter entrance and exit, which teleports allies who stand on the entrance to the exit, which helps teammates get back to the front lines in case they die. Engie has shotgun and pistol for self-defense, and also range, which can upgrade, heal, and speed up building process of friendly buildings. The second playstyle is called Mini Sentry Engineer, which requires you to take Gunslinger instead of your range. This item changes your sentry into an upgradable mini sentry, while also giving him more health, which makes Engineer more combat oriented class. My concept for Overwatch Engineer is based heavily on the first playstyle, as I think it is much better suited for this game. Engie would obviously be a defensive hero. He would have 200 HP and about an average movement speed. His weapon would be Rescue Ranger. It would fire arcing projectile type bolts, which can deal damage to enemies as well as heal friendly buildings, including Torbjorn's turret and Symmetra's shield generator and teleporter. It would have 6 shots in clip and fire 2 bolts per second. Each shot would deal 35 damage or heal buildings for 60. The reload would probably take around 1 second. His alt fire would allow him to pick up his buildings. When aiming at his building and pressing alt fire, he would instantly pack and pick it up, which would allow him to move it to a different location. After placing it back on the ground, it would have drastically decreased building time. The cooldown would be 10 seconds and he could pick up buildings from any range, but picking it up while standing directly next to it would decrease the cooldown by half. Also important note that if he died while carrying building, his building would die with him.
I'm moving this. Go on, get it.
Now his first ability, which would be building a sentry, which makes Engie build a sentry basically. It would have 200 HP and fire automatically at any enemy who enters its range until it's either dead or out of range. It would also have a beam showing the direction it's shooting at. It would deal 15 damage per shot and shoot 4 bullets per second, and its cooldown would probably be around 5 seconds.
Sentry going up.
Sentry would be his main damaging tool, and it should be kept alive as long as possible, but it would be quite easy to be taken care of because of its small health pool. His second ability would be building a Dispenser. It would have 200 HP just like Sentry, and it would heal all allies in its range with speed of 20 HP per second. Its cooldown would be shared with Sentry's cooldown, so placing a Sentry would put Dispenser on cooldown too.
Dispenser going up.
Now this will be also very important building, sometimes even more than the Sentry. so in case both are destroyed, Angie should know which one is more important at the moment. Now his ultimate, which would be Wrangler. When activated, Angie would take out his Wrangler, which takes control over his sentry and double its fire rate as well as double range of the dispenser. It would also create a 2000 HP shield around the sentry, which would look like a slightly smaller version of Winston's shield and give sentry 50% damage reduction from incoming attacks. The duration of this ability would be 10 seconds. So Angie would be generally used to defend certain areas and support healers. His weapons should generally be used to heal buildings, but in some cases it can be used to finish off weak opponents or deal with flankers. The main thing about him would be a good placement of buildings, so that they aren't too easy to be taken care of, but also still help the team. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think about this concept in the comment section of this video. Remember that you can follow my Twitter, join Steam group and Discord server, and send donation using links in the description. Thanks for watching and see ya next time.